There's almost this running joke in Destin Daniel Cretton's courtroom drama Just Mercy about how the film's primary location, Monroeville, Alabama, is home to the museum of author Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, something that every citizen feels the need to advertise to all visitors. Although they take great pride in being the source and home of the classic literature, the joke is that given the novel's themes of morality, social inequality, and the law, the citizens of Monroeville show very little care for the pursuit of actual justice for actual crimes in their town. Even District Attorney Tommy Chapman, playing this film by Rafe Spall, without a drop of irony says, "It's one of the civil rights landmarks of the Deep South." It's time for me to review Just Mercy. Just Mercy tells the true-life story of defense attorney Bryan Stevenson, played in this film by Michael B. Jordan, a Harvard Law graduate from Milton, Delaware, who set up the Equal Justice Initiative back in the late 80s. He specializes in providing legal assistance for those from disadvantaged backgrounds, particularly cases pertaining to black death row inmates. After Bryan moves to Alabama, he takes on the case of Walter McMillian, who's also known as Johnnie D, who's played in this film by Foxx, who's awaiting execution for the heavily publicized murder of 18-year-old white girl Ronda Morrison. After combing through the case and meeting with Johnnie D's family and community, which are one and the same, Bryan believes that there has been a gross miscarriage of justice and that Johnnie D has been wrongfully convicted. The pinnacle piece of evidence being the false testimony of a convicted murderer played in this film by Tim Blake Nelson, who fingered Johnnie D in exchange for a plea deal. So Bryan, along with the help of his operational director Eva Ansley, who's played in this film by Brie Larson, built a new case for Johnnie D, which is met with bomb threats as well as harassment from not only angry locals, but the authorities too. From the opening scenes of Just Mercy, screenwriters Cretton and Andrew Lanham let us know of the danger that awaits Bryan. Upon first visitation to the W.C. Holman Correctional Facility, Bryan is subjected to an invasive and illegal strip search before he is granted access to see his client. It's an uncomfortable example of the ingrained racism and discrimination that was still an ongoing issue for African Americans during the 90s, but to an extent, it's still happening now. This film might be set in the 90s, but remember, it wasn't that long ago. So Just Mercy does feel like a very timely film. Michael B. Jordan gives a beautifully understated performance as Bryan Stevenson. He's a lawyer who takes a real personal interest in his clients. His chemistry of Walter feels organically natural because of his innate gift to show compassion and empathy. Michael B. Jordan is known for his swagger and charisma, but it's refreshing to see him play someone as humble as Bryan. Foxx is equally impressive as the soft-spoken Walter. Much like Jordan, it's a role that showcases Foxx's often overlooked versatility. Some of his most effective scenes are just watching him breathing and trying to calm down a fellow death row inmate who's called Herb, another fantastic performance from Rob Morgan. Both Foxx and Jordan bounce off each other effortlessly. It's one of the best on-screen pairings of the year. Now, when it comes to faults, I would say that the problem with Just Mercy is that it hits every familiar beat that you would expect it to hit when it comes to a courtroom drama, so it is quite predictable. The plot isn't exactly anything new. Wrongly convicted prisoner is tried to be proven innocent by a good and honest lawyer. It's been done before. But what saves this film from being generic fodder is the captivating performances, as well as the way that it exposes the flawed nature of capital punishment. As the end credits rolled, I found myself stunned to learn the margin of errors when it comes to those on death row. The number of mistakes made in these cases is distressingly high, so you definitely leave this film feeling the impact of what it's trying to say. To summarize, guys, Just Mercy is a heartwarming, crowd-pleasing social justice film that reminds us of the fundamental importance of compassion. It hits all the right dignified notes, and whilst it can be somewhat bland and a touch longer than it needs to be, it's grounded by two very powerful performances and a very eye-opening message about capital punishment. So it's time to ask those three questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? I really enjoyed this film. I didn't love it, but it's got some excellent performances which showcase a different side to some actors that I really love. So yeah, I would happily watch it again just for their performances. Question number two, am I going to recommend it for you guys? I'm going to say yes again. It does feel a bit like a safe, generic, Oscar baity type of film, but there are some terrific performances in it, and it will open your eyes to an issue that's still ongoing in America. It's a very serviceable film, so yes, I would recommend it. And question number three, what score am I going to give it out of 10? I'm going to give Just Mercy a score of 7 out of 10. There we go, guys. That is my review of Just Mercy. But remember, this is just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Have you guys seen Just Mercy? If you have, what did you think of it? Do you think it's worthy of some Academy Award nominations? If so, what do you think it should be nominated for? If you guys have enjoyed this video and you think I deserve it, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please click subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews from the Venice and Toronto film festivals. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, any social media, you can find all those links in that video description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.